Namaste, Cancer. I'm here to do December monthly readings, beginning with the end of November, because I didn't get to do all the signs in November. I started working on the election, and so I hadn't finished all the signs that I was doing that month. And I think I'm pretty sure I did Cancer, but I'm doing this for all 12 anyway. So we're beginning for you with the Ace of Cups, falling in love or the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth and enhanced intuition, maybe even a new home. And yeah, with the next card is in reverse, but with it being the Queen of Cups, this can definitely be about increased psychic awareness and ability, a new relationship or a renewed relationship, reconciliation, or something like a new home. Emotional fulfillment is basically what it's about. So putting this card just randomly somewhere in the decks, since we saw that one already, and cutting into several different piles to mix these up a little bit more. Just randomly, some on top, some in the middle, some on the bottom, you know, you get the idea. And I also shuffled before I begin. Balance or temperance just flipped over for you guys. So something, maybe like I said, a reconciliation could be happening. A relationship could be healing, like there could be restoration and recovery of it, or of something that had been lost or taken from you. This is replacement of that person, place, or thing, of something with equal or greater value the universe giving to you. This is a card of negotiations and collaborations and contracts and coming together despite differences. Temperance, most directly in the tarot, represents the sign of Sagittarius. For me, it tends to also be attached to the sign of Aquarius, because there's almost always a water bearer on a temperance card. And now your overall energy is the Seven of Cups. So I do like how we're staying within your element thus far. A complex decision, the need to do research, stop procrastinating. So you've got goals, dreams, options, a list of pros and cons, something that has to be narrowed down, or a decision that you have to make, with the Ten of Wands being immediately behind it. Maybe it's a decision to not take anything else on. Like you've already got a full plate, you're overextended, overburdened. It could be affecting your health at this point, in terms of maybe not getting enough sleep or rest, relaxation, or, you know, affecting like one's blood pressure, stress level, something like that. Too much work, accept help from others. Life is out of balance, and that can cause stress-related health concerns. So since we just saw Major Arcana card Balance, it's called Balance in this deck, but it was Temperance. I think for some of you, that's primarily what it's about. Too much of one thing, that's probably work and being overloaded and overburdened, and not enough of another, like being social. The next card is also upright. So it looks like these difficult times, challenging times, almost behind you, and, you know, good times lie ahead. This is moving into calmer, stiller waters, or that type of energy. It could be literal, like, you know, in terms of movement or travel. And if it's not, obviously it is metaphoric. It's still about moving forward, though never backward, with the Six of Swords. Things are looking up. It's the end of a difficult situation. You may even be taking a trip. And so that could be what's up too. Like maybe you didn't get to take your vacation this year, perhaps because of the pandemic or something. So you haven't had a break, and it's just been nonstop, and that may change soon. All right. So that's overall energy. I'm going to do this first spread for, again, the end of November, which is only a few days left, but, you know, things can happen. And there's a huge full moon in what would be your 12th house, so house of endings, and that is Gemini. Yeah, there's a huge full moon and full lunar eclipse in Gemini on the 30th, so the last day of this month. This first card is going to represent you and or your partner, so it's like single couples, people, and whatever, however you want to look at it. And it is the Knight of Pentacles. Loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind. It's time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. You regard an angel. Knight of Pentacles may in fact be a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn in your life. And if not, it may be connected to work or something, or money, or assets, something coming in, probably not in lump sums, but consistently, or with some sort of regularity. I got some, I got some, I got some. It's consistent. I'm moving, or moving toward something, a job, a home purchase or sale, like again, something involving an asset or a relationship, even perhaps. But like slowly and steadily. Their motto is sort of like the not the early bird catches the worm. What's the other cliche? Like the turtle versus the hare. The rabbit, the hare is faster, but the turtle beat him because he was methodical, and that's the energy of an earth sign. So recent past, and recent past can be before today, the day on which I'm doing this reading, or for some of you, it's going to be later. Like that recent past hasn't come yet. You're going to be, watching the reading or experiencing some of the energy in the beginning of December. And so recent past would be, like, I don't know, the 30th. Okay. Recent past, 3 of Cups, a celebration, wedding, graduation, or birth announcement, and the need to have more fun. So this could be like Thanksgiving, in terms of a recent past that already happened already, time of being social, even if you were virtual and you were on Zoom with family and friends, as opposed to having them in your house. But a lot of people, did go ahead and have dinners, at least with, maybe no more than 10 people or something like that. And so they had an opportunity to be social, perhaps for a change, when you're thinking about in the context of 2020. I live in New York, so there hasn't been much of that for us at all, like basically all year, since like late February, right? Somebody also could have actually given birth to a child or gotten engaged or even married or something. This also is guidance to be social if you are not, if you, it might be tied to the 10 of Wands that's behind here. So maybe you're thinking, I gotta decide if I'm gonna go or not. If I'm gonna, partake. If I'm gonna travel. I gotta figure it out. I gotta make a decision. Near future. The Knight of Cups, emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative, falling in love, or wedding proposals. The need to balance emotions and an invitation to a social event. I like this following the 3 of Cups. The Knight of Cups and the 3 of Cups are both cards of reconciliation or reuniting with people from your past, possibly an ex or something. Maybe an earth sign, maybe a water sign. I mean, it could be any sign, but with court cards popping up, they can represent actual people in your life. This one, a Cancer like yourself, or this could be your energy. Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Masculine higher self. I always do the masculine because my viewership is mostly female and or feminine. At least the last time I looked, it was something like 80% female. Being unable or unwilling to make a decision. A stalemate. Pretending there's no problem. So the 2 of Swords for me is this kind of card that... it is a card of indecision, and your overall energy, I'll remind you, is one of making a decision that needs to be made. And this is indecision, but to me, what you want your decision to be. Like the decision is in your heart, it's in your mind, it's in your soul. You know what you want to do. You know how you want to live your life. You know what type of lifestyle you've chosen. But you don't make a decision, or you don't say it out loud, admit it to yourself and others, because you're afraid about what others will think, whether there's people in that intimately or personally, or it's about society. You're worried about society deems this it's frowned upon or whatever, and so I'm afraid to decide to do that. Maybe getting back together with somebody, for example. Maybe the type of person or the person themselves. Your friends don't like them, your parents don't like them, your children don't like them, your siblings don't like them, or whatever. Maybe it's a same-sex relationship. Society doesn't like that. So I'm afraid to go that route, even though that's what's in my heart to do. So the possibly the reason you haven't made this decision, or again, at least not out loud, is that you're concerned about what others will think. And what you need to do, Cancer, is think about what you want for yourself and shaking off that fear and not being afraid to pursue what's going to make you happy and emotionally fulfilled, like that Ace of Cups. Blocks to individual or shared progress. The King of Earth. Generous, professional, responsible, and practical. A successful time. Confidently accept opportunities you're offered. You have the Midas touch. So you could be letting opportunities pass you by, again, because you're afraid to go for it, whatever this represents for you, whether it's a relationship, a new business, a new job, career path, a lifestyle, living condition, place of, place where you live. And so what can you do to help yourself with regard to this situation if you are of the feminine archetype? Four of Earth. Being too frivolous or too cautious with money. Good business decisions and giving to those less fortunate. Most of all, this tends for me to have to do with letting something go. It's very much tied to this sort of doing what's going to make you happy as opposed to what's going to make other people happy. A lot of times we hold on to a condition because we feel like that's what we're meant to do, or that's the easy choice. Like, I often use this example of a job that you really dislike, or maybe you just dislike working for somebody else. You'd rather have your own company, but okay, that hasn't worked out yet for me. It hasn't just fallen out of the sky for me. And I get a paycheck from this job, right? Even though I can't stand it. They can't stand me. I hate going there, whatever, having to deal with this. But I get a paycheck. Or, I really can't stand this relationship that I'm in and it's abusive, it's toxic, but at least we split the bills. Like, you're looking for these reasons that really aren't justifications for your misery. So there's something of which you need to let go, or someone. It could just be an energy. It doesn't have to actually be something tangible that you can hold in your hand. It could be negative emotions, right? It could be regrets, resentment, the inability to forgive and like re-welcome somebody into your life. Guilt, blame. And that may be what you need to let go of, and that'll allow you to move forward and to, cop this abundance. You know what I'm saying? What the masculine can do to help himself, and it is 9 of Wands. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage in yourself. Have courage and believe in yourself. So again, this is about letting go of fear, and maybe you've created, again, a relationship for yourself. Maybe you've created a particular type of lifestyle you'd like to live. Maybe whatever it is you've created, and you might feel like you're down and out, like, well, it's never going to happen. I lost this war, right? This is the universe stepping in to give you that extra boost, that extra push. And we see it here with our overall energy, or at least the card that's behind it, the 10 of Wands. This is a progression. So if we take this energy that's being provided to us and use it toward making it out of this struggle, we will, right? We'll be successful. What the universe would have each or both archetypes to do to help themselves, and even wants to help with. Universe wants to help you do this. But you have to first affirm, because we have free will, and it's a choice, right? Of whether or not we're going to let the universe help us. But this is what they want to help you with. It is the 2 of Earth. Notice how all the cards with regard to you in this choice have been of, like, all the cards representing you have been of the cups, and all the ones regarding like this choice, this thing you need to do, have been of the earth element. I find that very interesting. Anywho, this is often about balance too in your life. Like, I can't have all of this. So, and twos in general can be about balance. You got another 2 here, sort of crowning, representing the masculine and the masculine archetype. So it can be about balance again in your life. Too much of what other people want you to do or would have you do is, how they would have you live, and not enough of what you really want to do. That may be the imbalance. Again, too much work and not enough play. That could be the imbalance, especially with the Two of Pentacles. Like sometimes we're letting money and material and work to earn it get in the way, and it blocks us from being able to have healthy relationships because our focus is all on work. Even sometimes when you're single, and it's like, well, I'm single, I might as well dive into my work. And sometimes we dive in and we never come up, like for air. And so how do you expect to start a new relationship? If you meet somebody, how do you expect to, for a relationship to flourish if every time the person calls you, you're like, oh, I have to work. Oh, I just got home from work. I'm tired. So that can be what this is about as well. It's also a card of that reflects the need to make some sort of decision. So that could be how one of you, some of you resonate with it as well. It could be similar to the Two of Swords and the Seven of Cups, a card that represents the fact that you have a decision to make. This would be a decision typically of the earthly. So like where to work, how many hours to work, or again, our relationships, where to live, what neighborhood, how to raise our kids, maybe whether or not to get married or relate or to enter a commitment or to remain single, all those types of things. And the outcome. Wow. Major Arcana card 8, Justice. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right and stand up for your beliefs. This can also be, they could have finished this sentence with do what you know is right for you, because it could definitely be tied to this Two of Swords. Of course, justice is also of the element of swords. It most directly represents the planet Venus, who rules 2 air signs, Libra and Gemini. And the card also mostly represents Libra, of her signs. And for some of you, there could be an actual legal situation going on. It may be divorce, or divorcing yourself from someone or something, severance of a situation, dissolution of a contract or relationship, whether it is a work one, like I no longer want to work here, I no longer want to be with you in a relationship, we're no longer friends, whatever. And for some, it could be actually joining 2 things, again, whether that's legally or in a more personal way. And very interesting November for you. End of November for you. I'm going to pull this next card because sometimes I get greedy and it's upright, just to see how, if they'll show us how the Justice card may resonate at least with a majority of you. Probably with regard to some sort of partnership, very possibly romantic. If it's not romantic, very close friends, family members, or business partners with a real relationship or something like that. A relationship that continues to grow closer. Forgiveness and the positive resolution of a conflict. Boom. And I did that. When I got greedy, because I saw that there was another card that was upright. And when I do my clarifications, I like to look for the next upright card. So like, let's say, for example, I was going to do another one. It would be this one. Might as well be greedy. King of Cups. Warm-hearted, devoted, loving, and faithful. A trustworthy person or relationship enters your life. You may receive wise and compassionate advice from someone who speaks directly from the heart. And the King of Cups, like the Knight of Cups here, again, may very well be a fellow Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. He is romantic, he is loving, he is generous, he is giving. And again, this is something where your emotions are invested, even if it isn't a romantic relationship for you. Look what card I was trying to put the stack down, and this one was like sticking out. It wouldn't go in. It's the 10 of Cups. So this is about like happy relationships, love surrounding you. Doesn't have to be, again, romantic. It can be family, friends, close friends. This guy, again, very loving, genuine. So even if it has to do with work, your emotions are invested in this situation. 10 of Cups. It's time to express your love and appreciation for family, be it relatives or a chosen family of close friends. Congratulations may be in order on a happy, fulfilling marriage, as well as raising happy and balanced children. Somebody's decision could really be, yes or no in terms of getting married. I just opened to the lovers by, chance. Again, getting married, entering some sort of commitment, getting divorced, dissolving a commitment. Like really, I just open to the lovers again. Life altering decisions. Or the Knight of Cups for me, often a card that is about someone returning to your life. So maybe an ex or something. And again, that could easily be somebody that maybe your friends or family don't like. And you've forever been pining for this person ever since it ended. But, they're happy you moved on. Or at least that you appear to have moved on. And you really want to go back. Right? So, there you have that. I'm going to use these cards for December. We're beginning with the King of Swords. You guys got a lot of characters showing up too. King of Swords, a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. So we just had that Libra energy show up at the end of the month, right? Or, as far as the outcome. And then here we have it again. Very interesting. Some of you could be dealing with a Libra and or a legal situation. The King of Swords for me is often a judge, a lawyer, or some sort of other, professional type job, like maybe a psychiatrist, right? A doctor, an accountant, something like that. Ooh. Behind that, we have the Three of Swords in reverse. So they're both in reverse. He or this energy could definitely be tied to something painful, emotional, separation, loss, a breakup, some sort of end to something. Again, severing yourself from something, divorcing yourself from something or someone. These two cards together could definitely sit. And here's the King of Cups. You guys saw me pick him up by chance. I decided let's be greedy, right? So this is somebody. Actually, these two together could be representative of Mercury in Scorpio, which is a transit through which we've been going for a while. So it might just be the fact that during this period, you guys have been going through a lot of emotional shifts and, perhaps coming to an end now. And or sometimes this is tied to actual like surgery or health matter for me. With the knives, like surgery. Maybe specifically heart surgery. Maybe somebody's deciding, on another possibility. Somebody could be deciding what choice to make. The doctor says, okay, we got this option, this option, this option in terms of paths, to wellness or improvement. Which one do you pick? So somebody could be going through that, or maybe someone close to cancer, close to you, is dealing with that kind of situation. King of Cups, again, a Cancer like yourself, Scorpio or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And he very possibly is tied to disappointment, loss, separation, or at least worry about those things. Being worried, maybe even paranoid about those things unnecessarily. This is a card of doubt and pessimism, like, oh, I doubt it'll turn out good, right? It also reminds us to count our blessings and to pay attention to what is good in our lives. And then the rest, they're getting in reverse now. But we're still seeing like the same characters and elements pop up. Major Arcana card 9 is the next card, the Hermit. In terms of relationship, this too, like the Knight of Cups, can be a card about rekindling a relationship from the past. A romantic one. This is also a very spiritual card, like the Ace of Cups, the Queen of Cups. Any of the Cups cards that we've seen basically could be, the court cards in particular, the Knight, the King. and increase psychic awareness. And then we have that King of Pentacles, which showed up in your last spread too. Like the Hermit, a Virgo perhaps, Taurus or Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And another 2, the 2 of Wands in terms of partnership. And then, I mean, I could go on like this for days. We have the Wheel of Fortune, upright, major arcana card. The Wheel of Fortune most directly represents the planet Jupiter and the sign of Sagittarius, which it rules, but it's also tied to the fixed signs, so Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And this is about a reversal of fortune. So it tends to be to the positive, like we're coming out of something that was difficult, and we're very quickly will be turned into something that is more positive. And I think based on the cards we've seen for you, you know, including those 10, like the 10 of Wands, for example, this is like another 10 of Wands because it's of the element of fire. It's Jupiter, it's Sagittarius, but it's major arcana. So this is like reversal of fortune from that difficult time to a far better time. And then we see another 6 of Swords for you. So I'll let that be where I stop. As a matter of fact, I should mix up the ones that we looked at already. Just toss them in here. We looked at quite a few. Just threw that one on top of another 10. It was the 10 of Swords. Okay. We didn't look at this guy before. An Ace of Pentacles in reverse. And right away I open to that 6 of Swords yet again. Empress in reverse. Star. Empress represents the sign of Taurus, Libra, Gemini, Star, Aquarius. So a lot of these repeat energies for you guys as well in terms of the characters that keep showing up. I'll do one more. It's the 9 of Swords in reverse. So maybe ready to move beyond some sort of anxiety. The Star showing up again. Wishes being granted, prayers being answered, dreams coming true. So perhaps connected to that 7 of Cups. So that could be representative of your dreams, your goals. Star also about communication and things. And now we have for you an overall energy of major arcana card, the Devil in reverse. Nothing to be afraid of. Right? He's possibly connected to the Queen of Wands, who is also in reverse. Well, for one thing, this could be representative of Jupiter in Capricorn. So maybe this is a transit that has affected you. And I think there's movement, particularly in this transit, coming up in the very near future. And there's also, I believe, a conjunction between Jupiter and Pluto, both of which are located in Capricorn. Pluto, of course, the ruler of Scorpio. So that could be why all those, like the King of Cups, the Knight of Cups, all that was showing up for you too. So for some of you, that may be how this energy, you know, relates to you, impacts you. For others, again, there's something from which you need to sever yourself, divorce yourself. The Devil in reverse, as opposed to the Devil upright, is an indication of you getting closer to that. That you having figured out what the problem is, or who the problem is, and from what you need to remove yourself. That's half the battle, as they say, right? I'm going to get these, I'm going to pull 4 cards for you. So the first one's going to be the one most representative of you for the month of December. The second, well, I'll just do it. First one most representative of you for the month of December. And it is another Ace of Cups. Y'all saw me shuffle, so you know this is legit, right? Another Ace of Cups. Isn't that great? We began with one with the first spread, and now we have one here. Surrounding energy, close friends, family members, co-workers, something going on at the job. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Very nice. Work and finance specifically. 4 of Cups. in reverse. And lastly, love and relationship. The Two of Cups, yet again, upright. And the Two of Cups is another one of these cards that was sort of accidental. It was when I decided to be greedy and pull it, is when it showed up. And already I can say to you, based on the overall energy, again, for some of you, this is a decision to join together. And for others of you, this is a decision to sever a relationship. Some of you may be severing a relationship so that you can enter another one where your heart really is. Again, whether that means it's a same-sex relationship, like some of you getting out of straight relationships, heterosexual relationships, for an LGBTQ one, because you're coming out. you're coming out of the relationship because you're coming out. For others of you, you just miss. I mean, you're some other way. In some other way, you are mismatched, right, with your partner. That they're not the one. You're not the one for them. And so that's going to come to an end, and you're going to be moved to who is the one. But we'll talk about more of that in a second. Just want to make sure everything is in frame. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So let's get into it, beginning with your overall energy of the Devil in reverse. So for one thing, I mean, in addition to what I already said about the Devil, this can be about needing to take like a deeper look at a situation. And that, I think, is also tied to like the energy of the Seven of Cups, right? We need to list the pros and cons, maybe. We need to really try to get below the surface as to what we, ultimately want to go with, and not go with face value. Things really may not be as bad as they seem. So that also ties in with the Five of Cups, and that feeling of, again, doubt and pessimism, and nothing's going to be good, and we forget to count our blessings. It might not be that, that horrible. So like look around and look deeper into stuff, especially when it's reversed. We're also reminded to, keep in mind that life can change like in the blink of an eye, right? Everything can turn around completely in the drop of a dime. And that's kind of what the Wheel of Fortune suggests too. Like something changes completely very, very quickly. So I think you guys have got a lot of evidence of, the messages that this card conveys. And this is like reconfirmation of a lot of things we talked about already. So on that note, I'm just going to move over to the Ace of Cups, which again is the card that most directly represents you. You guys may have the best spread of all, the readings that I've done so far. Things are looking up for one thing. And, this is a card, again, of emotional fulfillment, increased psychic awareness, new relationships, reconciled relationships, new homes, new babies, new, just emotional fulfillment, happiness, joy in the, coming about. And you should be feeling really good about life in general when this card shows up. It's a great time for you to start on new things, new relationships, new works, and meeting new people, making new friends, all of that. So speaking of new friends and things, surrounding energy, the Ten of Pentacles in reverse is a super positive card too. And it says that you have so much to be happy about. You really need to count your blessings. You really need to acknowledge all the good that's happening, even if there are, occasional disappointments. And you shouldn't look forward to disappointments. You shouldn't expect disappointments. You should expect good, because so much good is already happening for you and does happen for you, that there's no reason for you to be walking around with this sort of, things may not go my way type of attitude. You could be very tempted to leave like a good job, or, some sort of lucrative situation for you in terms of work and finance, especially in consideration of the Four of Cups in reverse with this card. So that may be what's, the biggest message tied to that. The work, especially since we saw all those pentacles, work and finance could be the area of your life, as opposed maybe to relationship or something where there is something of which you are ready to let go or to change drastically, You want to take a completely new career path or something like that. So we got to, consider those things. Other if that's not how it is showing up in your life, or it shows up in your life, then again, it's just a friendly reminder to keep a positive attitude and to expect goodness, because that tends to be what is surrounding you guys. And one of my favorite quotes is from Psalm 23. Surely goodness and mercy follow me all the days of my life. That's what I see when I look at the spread. All right, so Four of Cups in reverse with regard to work and finance. So with work, you could finally be like getting up the get up and go to get yourself out of an unhappy work situation. And again, the Ten of Pentacles in reverse supports that as well. It could be lucrative, but still unhappy. You're not fulfilled. It's not your life purpose. And so it's just not working for you. And maybe that's why it's such a major decision for you, is life altering. And why we saw the King of Cups, in that position of challenge, right? When I asked the question, what is hindering or blocking the progress for you as an individual, or your shared progress with, others or someone special, whatever, it was the King of Cups that was blocking your progress. So it could be like this really good job, a really good opportunity, but it's holding me back from other things I want to do. So, of course, that's going to take some major thought in order for you to decide that. You're not going to just want to make that decision on a whim. So, again, you got to look below the surface and maybe list the pros and cons for yourself, okay? But other than that, I say good for you, because, if you're moved to look into new opportunities and to pursue some dream, I mean, I think that's awesome. We all should be so lucky. You know what I mean? So take your own life into your own hands, the bull by the horns, or the devil by the horns, and go for it. Believe in yourself. I think it's great. In terms of finances, you're probably going to be, if you take the time to like look around, and again, look below the surface, like really pay attention to what's going on around you, you're probably going to notice opportunities that you hadn't before, and you should take the time to explore them. And maybe they help you in this job change or career change or whatever it is, or in finding a job. If you're looking for a job, and your motivation, maybe more so than ever before, is to just like be successful. That success isn't necessarily tied to money. You might be looking for some other sort of emotional fulfillment, perhaps. And again, that is wonderful. And last but not least, speaking of emotional fulfillment, love and relationships. So the Two of Cups is like a favorite card in this, position, in this placement. It totally represents true love, balanced partnerships, commitment, like all of the things that most of us hope for with regard to love and or relationship. It doesn't mean that you can just do or say whatever and everything's going to be fine. Your relationship's going to laugh and last and not have any problems. Doesn't mean that it doesn't require the typical work and focus and level of commitment that relationships don't normally take. But there is a real, genuine, and like solid potential for true love and harmony, and to receive the affection and attention that you deserve, and to have the energy and the desire to also give those things to someone else. If you're single and looking, this is then a signal for you that you are very likely to have, again, that type of genuine prospects for real, true love headed your way very soon. So just sort of like sit back and relax. It's coming. Hope you guys have enjoyed your reading. I'll be back with other stuff that you can tune into as well. I'm putting up my full moon reading tonight too. Namaste.